Hey guys, we are here on Sunday with Strictly Auburn's recap podcast of the game against San Jose State. I'm here with Jake Laz. How you doing?
Good. Just watched some NFL football. Fine Sunday afternoon. We're just chilling right outside. Beautiful day.
It's a beautiful Sunday. Finally, the rains passed over Auburn, Alabama. But with that game yesterday, 24-16 was the final. Auburn Tigers took the dub. Got that pick right. We switched roles this weekend. I was tailgating. You covered the game. The tents were fun this weekend. I had a great time. Went to like four or five different tents. Got a lot of good food.
Campus Green.
Right in front of Jordan Hare. So yeah, it was a good time. Got to hang out with the boys and stuff.
It seemed like there were a ton of people over there.
It was a lot. There was a lot of people. I think each weekend is just going to get more people at the tents. This weekend is going to be
as long as we're winning.
As long as we're winning, and we did win. So, but this next weekend is going to be absolutely nuts. But
and Penn State.
Yeah.
Just jumping into that, Penn State is ranked. I think 20.
20. They're ranked.
Something low 20s.
So it's going to be a ranked matchup for us.
Well, yeah, first ranked matchup of the season, first real test of the season.
Yeah. But let's talk about San Jose State. I know this is going to be a rough game to talk about, but you were at the game. What did you see since you were at the game? Kind of anything stood out to you?
Our offense looked atrocious in the first half.
Yeah.
Bad.
It was
pretty hard
bad
to watch. We put up 7 points. I think it was Jarquez that scored that 7-yard poke touchdown in the second quarter. And then outside of that, we had a couple bad turnovers.
We just didn't look.
Didn't look good in the first half.
What I will say,
sloppy.
What I will say in the first half, I think that was probably some of the worst Auburn football I've ever seen in a while. Besides, 2011 stuff like that. But this game we just did not. I think what happened was we didn't come in focused. We were looking past Penn State. Obviously, it's hard not to when you get a team like San Jose State playing, and then you look over to Penn State. It's kind of easy to do that. But we just didn't look like we literally looked like we didn't have a game plan set. We just didn't look focused at all.
We just got some motorcycles passing by. We're sitting outside by Heyday Market in Auburn, the new food hall. So we got some traffic every once in a little bit, which I guess is a good thing.
Yeah, it had some ambience.
Not too good for the audio. But good for the scenery.
Anyways, yeah, I just think the team didn't look prepared at all, especially in the first half. John Schenker had 3 flags, 3 meaningless flags.
Penalties.
That's just I don't know, dude. That game, it was really hard to watch because so we had the first drive, and I think it started off with a good run. I think tanks that looked fine, and we had a really big drive out to the right side, and I think we had a holding call or something, or an offside, or offsides or something like that. It just didn't. I don't know, dude. Those penalties really screwed us.
Every time I was taking videos for Eagle Eye.
Yeah.
And every time I took a clip, or at least thought I got a good clip, I was getting called back for penalty. So what was the? It literally felt like the first quarter and a half, the first 20, 25 minutes of the game was boring. Especially taking video, there was just nothing. There was nothing to take note of. Defense didn't even play great. They played good enough to keep us in the game long enough until our offense got going.
I think the defense played great in the first. I think they played fine the first half. They put it San Jose State had a couple of 3 and outs, but I think what our offense did was we just left them out to dry. With not pushing the ball down the field. That's the same. We can just compare it to last year, right? It's the same thing happened against Georgia State. We had a scare. And hopefully we turn around and do what we did last year and beat LSU in Baton Rouge for the first time since 1999 or something like that. So it could be just a trap game for us. We come in there not focused. Fortunately we turned it around second half. TJ Finley looked a lot better. But let's talk about the quarterbacks here.
Harsin, before we jump there,
okay.
Harsin made his quote post game. He said, "Just to finish and play well enough in the second half to win. We didn't do that at times on last year's team, so that was something that we emphasized from January and we emphasized all through fall camp."
Yeah, you mentioned being able to finish. A lot of teams didn't finish this past weekend. A&M, Notre Dame didn't finish. So at least, I mean, a struggle loss is way better. Struggle wins a lot better than a struggle loss is how I'm going to look at it. I'm just going to look at this game like I'm an optimistic guy. It's hard to be optimistic during a game like this. But one thing I do note, dude, Finley just looked like Finley threw another interception against not a great opponent.
I mean, Finley's interception. So obviously,
it was a great play.
Both quarterbacks threw interceptions.
Right.
First, TJ threw the first one. The cornerback made a ridiculous play on the ball. He was throwing to the right side of his body on the sideline and just kind of stared down his receiver. The cornerback made a great diving play on it. And yeah, but again, he just stared down his receiver, didn't even try and shake the cornerback. It felt lazy. I mean, so that happened, and then it was either the next drive or the drive after. Robbie came in and made the same mistake. Stared down a receiver. I don't remember who it was. I thought it was.
He was looking for Landon King, right. And it was
on a corner route.
It was
just underthrew him.
It was the right read on Robbie's part, but I think like you said, he underthrew it. But I mean, to back up Robbie, he's a redshirt freshman, and they haven't given him a lot of opportunity to throw the ball anyway. So I wouldn't say I like the read, I like where he's going at, but like he doesn't have a lot of experience throwing the ball anyways. Just like, all right, so we talked about running back, our quarterbacks, Finley.
Yeah, our quarterbacks are kind of the story of this season. I mean, they're gonna be the ones who decide whether or not this team can win come Penn State, come SEC time. I mean, the skill position players can only do so much without a quarterback.
That's true, but I feel like they weren't really getting open as well yesterday.
I mean, TJ definitely turned it around after his interception.
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, that's on the positive aspect of it. He did look a lot better in the second half.
I mean, he went 12 for 15 after his interception.
Yeah, so we can't. But like playing in the SEC, we can't have first halves like that. Second halves
No,
he's got to
come out that slower. It's going to be a bazillion to nothing.
We need two decent. I think if we get Finley's second half all year, I think we'll be fine. To be honest, and
is that possible?
I don't know. I guess we'll see against Penn State if that's possible or not. But just going forward, the running backs look fine. Tank Bigsby ran the ball well. Jarquez. I actually like what I saw from the running backs this weekend. Damari Alston freaking looked amazing.
Yeah, he had that one big run.
I mean, a big run that led us to a touchdown.
Yeah.
So running backs looked fine. Another situation, the O-line started off not giving enough push again, but they looked again good in the second half. Receivers
they don't get any push. Our offensive line doesn't get any push.
Well, they didn't in the first half, but they looked a little bit better in the second half.
Running backs are making guys miss. I mean, they're doing their job, but our O-line just doesn't get a real push, and they don't open up big enough gaps for our running backs to expose.
Yeah.
Hopefully that improves, but I don't know that it's going to get any easier with the schedule that we have.
No, it's not, but I think we'll just have to see. I just think what comes with like the game, how he performed, is just like obviously preparation for the game. And Harsin did mention that this week's practice didn't look great. So like having that said with the practice beforehand, I think that's kind of what you get with the results. You don't prepare for a test, you don't study for a test, you're going to fail. So I think it's the same way with this game. Was we didn't really prepare well, and that's the kind of result we got.
What does that say about a head coach?
I mean, I don't think it's a head coach issue right now. It's only the second game of the year. I just think he said the players weren't focused. So I mean, the coach can only do so much a coach can do to get his players ready for the game. But if they're not going to look at the playbook, watch film, stuff like that, then that's on their end.
I mean, in my eyes, that's a coach's job. It is a coach's job to keep the guys focused. It is a coach's job to get your guys prepared and to make sure they perform at the highest level that they're capable of. I mean, the greatest coaches in the country and in professional or at any level of football are the guys that get the most out of their players. I mean,
yeah.
Like Nick Saban is obviously the GOAT of coaching in college football. I mean, with a bazillion national championships.
I mean, if we're talking about coaching, you see how many penalties they had. They had over 100 yards in penalties. So I guess we can talk about that as well.
I mean, it's a different record of winning. That's one game.
I mean,
versus
but like,
career.
if I don't think penalties is. I mean, yeah, it can be linked to coaching, but like I think it's just. It's a player aspect as well, just not being locked in and focused in the game. I mean, John Samashenko's a senior tight end, and he has 3, like, rookie mistakes like with the penalties, holding. And I think, I'm not trying to say this game was a ref issue either, but I did think they kind of were calling just some flags you really don't see a lot. Like, I don't know. It was just it was an overall crappy game for the Tigers.
I'm struggling as someone who obviously watches a lot of Auburn football, and a lot of football in general. I'm really struggling with Coach Harsin, if I'm being honest. Like you said, I mean, our guys. It feels like our guys go into games underprepared. Like,
well, we looked prepared last week.
I mean, with an entire offseason of prep. You
don't
get an entire offseason of prep during the season.
I just don't think we can.
You get 5 days.
I don't think we can throw this L on Harsin. I mean, it's his second.
Well, we won.
I mean, yeah, not L, but like I just don't. I think. I mean,
poor performance.
It was a poor performance. I don't think we can throw anything on the coaches right now. Like it's. I mean, I think San Jose State give a nod to them. They played an amazing game. They came in here ready to go. Their quarterback, Siobhan Cordero, looked really well. Elijah Cooks looked really well. And I think another thing is their first week against Portland State definitely was not showing of how they play. Because obviously they play Portland State, barely win by 4 points, and then come in here and play us and give us a scare here. I think San Jose State's a good team. I mean, they gave us a good game coming into Jordan-Hare. But just talking about the offense again, the receivers, how do you think they did?
Well, we definitely saw the ball spread a little bit more.
Yeah.
That was, I guess, good to see. There were some notable drops, I remember. But other than that, I mean, they ran their routes well. The route tree, again, noticeably expanded from last year.
And another thing is, I think we're still keeping it vanilla with play calling as well. Like, obviously we're not going to open up the whole playbook against Penn State week 3, before we play them.
Against San Jose State in week 2.
I'm saying, obviously we're not going to open up the playbook against San Jose State before Penn State. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So that's a factor, but if we're gonna contend in the SEC, definitely can't play like this. We gotta come ready to go, just more focused. And I mean, but yeah, you said the receivers looked well.
I'm not gonna lie, just touching back on what you just said. I watching the last game is where all of the doubt comes in for this season. I mean, we were projected to I guess we still are. Auburn's still projected to
finish
come last in the SEC West, and as Auburn fans and strictly Auburn, we're trying our best to look at the positive, and to pitch the positive as to why this team can shock everyone. But with performances like last week,
it's hard to do.
It's getting harder and harder to explain only the positives when a lot of the negatives come out from the coaching staff and from poor performances from players that we initially expected big things from.
Yeah. Like I said, we gotta slow down. It's only week 2, so not we're not done. It's literally the beginning of the season, so it's nothing really not to freak out about just yet. I think if we walk into Penn State and play like we did last night, then that's where we can really start to be, okay, this team isn't, But it's only week 2. San Jose State, they gave us a scare. We still got the dub. A&M didn't. Notre Dame didn't. A lot of teams lost last weekend.
Nebraska.
That was a crazy game.
Hopefully this week was a wake-up call.
Yeah, I think.
Hopefully this team is pissed.
They should be.
Hopefully
I mean, after a performance like that.
Pissed.
Yeah.
Like, it's. They got to come out hungrier next week. Penn
Yeah.
State. I mean, you lost a close battle last year that came down to the last couple minutes.
Yep.
Which that game was defined by some of the worst officiating I've ever seen. I mean,
yeah.
For God's sakes, Penn State punted on third down.
Yeah, that was. Yeah. Let's hit the. I mean, so offense wise, let's talk about going into Penn State here. What do we do with the quarterbacks? I mean, Robbie, every time he gets in the game, he just adds sparks to the offense, obviously. But like, what I'm kind of confused about with what we're trying to do as an offense here is like, so you have TJ in, you're gonna let him throw majority of the time, and then you have Robbie in, and as a defense he's obviously gonna run the ball. So I think with this going into Penn State, they got to give Robbie some more chances to throw the ball, or he's just gonna, his running ability. I mean, he can't, shake off four guys. If the
dual threat, but he's not really dual anything. He doesn't throw the ball.
Yeah, they haven't allowed him to throw the ball yet. So I think going into next week against Penn State, they got to give him some opportunities to throw the ball. Really let him shine if he can that way. I don't know. We'll see. Let's talk about the defense here. Again, no turnovers. Almost had one in the fourth quarter with DJ James, but I think the defense looked all right. I think what really hurt them is just our offense not being able to push the ball down and score. Cornerbacks were a little. I think a lot of people are kind of talking about the cornerbacks looked a little shaky. I think we got a little bit. We got some sacks this game, which is good. But what do you think? How do you think the D-line did and stuff like that?
D-line played all right. I mean, again, the lack of pressure. I mean, it was better than last week. It was much better than last week. Yeah. We saw 3 sacks. Derek Hall had a sack, which was... wait, did he? Or was it... No,
Derek Hall had a sack.
Both, okay, Derek Hall and Ekuliota had sacks, that was good to see. And I think we had a handful of hurries, but didn't really see enough of them to really force mistakes. We didn't lay any real big hits on Cordero, which probably would have forced some more mistakes. But he was able to be fairly content in the pocket, especially in the first half of that game. Our defense did get some big. They had a big hold. They had first and goal on the 1.
Yeah.
Held them to a field goal.
I think they performed.
Penalties. I don't know if that's the defense, but San Jose State took 2 false start penalties back to back, which pushed them back outside the 10.
I mean, yeah, but I think the defense, they did everything they could with how well the offense performed.
Yeah, totally.
I don't know. One thing a negative I saw on the defense, Owen, he's not really. He's there, but he's not making an impact as well as I thought he would do. You know,
we thought he was going to come back and turn himself.
And really,
I mean, last year, I'm not sure what his draft grade was last year. He probably would have went somewhere in the middle rounds, middle to late rounds, day 2, day 3 guy. We thought he was going to come back, and I mean, we still think he's going to, again, strictly Auburn positive, but we still think he's going to come back and prove why he could be a late day 1 guy or early day 2.
Yeah.
I mean, but if you're going to do that, it doesn't come at the hands of your offense.
Sure.
Like, you have to show up and perform. You have to come out and make big plays, whether it's sacks, I don't know, making a big hit over the middle.
Right. That's one.
You're defended. I don't know.
That's a good point. A big thing I did see that was wide open in our defense was just the middle of the field. I feel like a majority of the passes that Siobhan Cordero completed was the slants
over the middle of the field.
Yeah, if we're playing, I mean, I think as a defense you should know, like, if your linebackers are going to blitz, the cornerbacks should know, okay, that's a trigger. Like, okay, if my linebackers are blitzing, then I got to watch for the slant. You know what I'm saying? So like,
the running back coming over the middle of the field every time, just a dump off.
Yeah,
they made a couple downfield plays. They were good.
They did
completions down the sidelines.
Exactly, and those were. I don't want to knock on the DBs because on that one big play Elijah Cooks had on Jalen Simpson. He played the best defense he could have played on that ball. But like I can't remember if it was Elijah Cooks or not. I think it was because like he really jumped up and like made an amazing catch. And you can't knock that on or Jalen Simpson. He played good defense. It was just a better play by the receiver. So I think a lot of situations like that happen. Keontae Scott, the Iowa State transfer, he looked well.
He played well.
DJ James, our guy, we mentioned him. Hope to see him in the game. He looked pretty well. Almost had our first turnover of the year. Kind of battled it out, but he looked well.
I mean, just getting back, we have 0 turnovers through 2 games.
That is true.
I want to touch on that. We have 0, like a goose egg.
That's pretty wild.
We have 3 turnover. We have a -3 turnover ratio, right?
Yeah.
We fumbled 3 times yesterday and recovered all 3.
Yeah.
So that has to improve. Ball security has to improve. Can't win games if you don't have the football.
It was a little wet out there, but you're right. Can't really fumble the ball. I don't know. We really gotta. I think this week we really have to lock in. I mean, we don't want to look like with the way we looked last night against Penn State, or we're gonna get messed up here. All this jacked up truck coming across.
Just adds to the ambiance.
But yeah, I mean, if we play like we did last night, we are really gonna look stupid against Penn State because Penn State's not a bad team. They're really not.
I mean, they're ranked. Obviously.
They're ranked. They played good against Ohio last night. So
Miami, Ohio.
Yeah, not yeah. But yeah, I don't know. We really got to lock in this week. I'm still excited for the game.
No doubt.
I think we win still just by the sheer fact Jordan Hare is going to be absolutely nuts. And I think Finley, obviously he's going to get the start again. I think Finley I think he's improving. So kind of. I mean, he looked good. He looked good in the second half. He had a good pass to Javaris Johnson on that I think it was like a corner route. I think
he told his teammates, he was like, "I swear to God, I'm going to be better after this." That was his post game.
And
he did look better, but it's that.
He's got to have the consistency
it's that mental
too.
trick. If you're going to be a consistent quarterback, it can't take a mistake to turn your mental like toughness on. You have to come out prepared, ready to go, and that comes through practice all week. You're watching film. You're on the field making throws to all your receivers. I don't know, maybe before or after practice you're working on it too.
Yeah.
And that comes with confidence. And Finley just has to lock in, and I don't see a reason why he can't be a solid quarterback.
I think he can be a good. I think he can be a decent quarterback that's going to be able to play good enough to get us wins.
Mentally from the very beginning, and he can't take a mistake to turn that on.
But I mean, on the flip side, he did. I think our team showed resilience.
Oh, no doubt.
We looked. I mean, going down against San Jose State, I think one thing I do want to note, Finley did at half. I heard that he went in and not just to his receivers or anybody, in front of the whole teams. Yeah, in front of the whole team, really, brought it out and told everybody that he's,
He said, "I suck right now."
Yeah. So I mean, at least he's owning up to it, and he's owning up to his mistakes. But at least he's coming out and telling everybody hey, he's being a leader, which he was praised for in fall camp. So that's a good thing to note. But
I mean, leadership comes. I mean, you can't just be a leader off the field. You got to lead on the field too.
You're right.
You can't just be loud in the locker room and not perform.
No. Which he did have a better performance second half. So
Yeah, I mean, that has to improve. It has to keep getting better and better and better because he'll be back next year. There's no doubt. This is not his last season as an Auburn Tiger. He transfers for a third time.
Yeah, no, I don't.
He'll be back next season
unless something crazy happens. Yeah. What do you think? I mean, what do you think we do? Do you think we keep just throwing Robbie in there for runs, or do you want to see him get a more of a?
If you want me to be completely honest, I think he has. I think he's more raw talented than TJ.
I think he's probably has one of the best. He's one of the most talented players on the team.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And
he led the team in rushing last night.
Yeah, he's 68 yards though.
But still, as a QB,
he has a raw skill set, but sitting on the bench is no way to develop that. So if you're Coach Harsin, you're kind of playing this season for your job.
Pretty much.
So I don't understand why you have your most talented freshman sitting on the bench who could easily develop into a dual threat guy who's capable of, like we've seen the first
if we develop this kid right, he could be a freaking animal. I mean, he
can carry a team to wins alone.
Exactly, yeah, like we used to see with like Cam Newton and Nick Marshall. I'm just bringing those names up because those are guys that could literally carry our team to dubs. You know, for the past couple of years we've been literally relying on our outstanding running back play and just our shutout defense. That's really just been nudging us along with these kind of wins. But yeah, if we develop him, I mean, he could really be a big play. So just to end up what you say, so you think Harsin should keep, trying to throw him in there? And I think as a fan base, we all want to see it.
If I was Coach Harsin and I was the coach of the Auburn Tigers, first of all, guys have to come in more prepared. First off.
Yeah.
Second of all, yeah, I would probably be giving Ashford quite a bit more snaps, giving him more opportunity, because I think TJ Finley is who we expect him to be.
He's a mediocre guy.
He's not the top level guy. He's not going to be that first round draft pick, and I don't think he's going to become that out of the blue, no matter how much he practices, no matter how much he works. Robbie Ashford, on the other hand, I think he's got the skill set, the work ethic, and
just enough raw talent.
That it factor.
Yeah.
He has that it. He can, scramble for first downs, whether it's a third or fourth down, big time conversion. He'll break his tackle and dive for a first down. As to where I'm not sure that TJ has that it factor.
Yeah, what's crazy is I think what really played a role in just having TJ Finley out there for more playing time is just Ashford's interception. Because we threw him out there, he did his thing, got a couple of almost a first down, and then he throws that pass to Langdon. And it's crazy how crazy football is. He connects that pass. I mean, I think Auburn Twitter, everybody's just going nuts. Like he's the next Nick Marshall, Cam Newton. Everybody's freaking out. He's a little bit underthrown, and now he's. I think obviously after that pick, they're kind of threw him to the side and let kind of Finley take a hold of the game. So I just think that really was not that sucks for Robbie, because before he was making a case to be starting quarterback, and we weren't sure of his throwing capability, and they throw him out there, they let him throw a pass, and it's a damn pick. So
it kind of feels like the consistency. I mean, if he sees the field and he's throwing more consistently, and he's given the opportunity rather than only throwing the ball.
Did he throw a pass after that interception? Did they give him a pass? No.
And it's unfortunate, because it's like you're harping his confidence. I mean, you
exactly
rip him out. He's 18 years old.
Yeah.
18 or 19 years old, and you're going to pull him out of the game because he threw one interception, and you have a starting quarterback who honestly doesn't look that good.
No.
Like, if I was the coach, like I said, I think Robbie deserves playing time. I think he has to see the field more often than he does.
If we want this offense to be efficient, he has to. I mean, he has to see the field. He just brings. He's back-to-back games, 68 yards rushing on such little attempts. He brings that kind of energy to the team. I mean, just like watching it on television. I mean, it could be different. You're at the game, but just like I think the overall attitude and feel of the offense when he's in the game is just amped up.
It's different. I think it was Tate Johnson. He said something about Robbie Ashford running 40 yards down the field to throw a block for a running back.
Yeah.
Like, dude, no offense to TJ Finley, but I haven't seen him do anything like that.
No.
It's just effort. Like, Robbie Ashford's out there giving everything he has to his hometown team, right?
Right. Pretty much. Yeah. He's a Hoover kid. He's an Alabama kid, so I don't know. We'll see. I think like you said, we got to take this game and really, really turn it into a learning experience, and just focus next week, because this Penn State game, man, this is probably this is the biggest game of Harsin's coaching career so far. If he loses this, the season is not looking.
He's in big games. I mean, let's go through his big game record. Last year, I'm not. You know what? Just for his record's sake, we'll count LSU. So he's 1-0 in LSU. He's what else?
I mean, why wouldn't you count LSU?
I guess it's in Baton Rouge. Go ahead. So big games last year. Lost to Georgia. Beat LSU. Lost in the Iron Bowl. What did we do in Texas A&M last year? We lost. Right?
We lost 5 straight. So we lost.
Ole Miss. So
beat Ole Miss is a big game.
We'll say 2-3 in big games last year.
Yeah.
And this year, if he loses that, you're 2-4 in big games going into an SEC schedule that's ridiculously hard this year, taking on UGA, Alabama, and Texas A&M. Although
A&M,
lost,
they might be a bust this year. Ole Miss looked really good. Arkansas, they looked pretty decent.
We'll see.
Tennessee
we'll
looks
see
good.
Come A&M time, but
yeah,
that's
Haynes King looks. Haynes King don't look legit, but
again, young guy.
He's a freshman. But look, I mean, you're comparing. Look at Haynes King freshman debut, and then Robbie Ashford. I mean, he just got I think we have a really talented freshman, and he's a freshman, y'all. We got he's never played this is his first look at playing in football. Yeah, obviously he's gonna make mistakes, but he's making the same mistakes that our veteran quarterback TJ Finley's making. That's ridiculous. You do not want to see that from a veteran QB and Finley that's had time with this playbook as well. This is first time Robbie's ever had this kind of that's looked at these plays and he looks like he runs them perfectly fine. And, I don't know. But you want to preview Penn State a little bit?
Yeah, I haven't done my homework yet, but
I haven't either. But we can just get some first thoughts. It's a while until the game. Do you think we win this one or what?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Strictly Auburn. I'm trying to stay as positive as I can. My NFL team looks like shit right now.
Really?
It's I was just looking. I'm a New York Giants fan. It's halftime. They're getting shut out 13-0 in Tennessee.
Who are they playing? The Titans. Hey, Roger McCreary. He made his. He was named starter for the Titans, which is a really big deal over their previous starter last year.
Yeah.
So hey, that's good. It's a good. You gotta look at it as through an Auburn lens. I'm sure McCreary's doing pretty well. So that's good.
Well, the Giants are getting shellacked. So getting back to Auburn a little bit. It's so hard for me to be that positive going into next week. I'm trying so hard.
So yes or no? Do you think we win the game?
Right now, before I do prep and everything, I don't want to give you an answer.
Okay.
I'm not as confident as I was going into the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm not.
Jordan Hare's gonna play a factor.
That's the thing, Jordan Hare is a crazy place, crazy atmosphere. This is our first big game of the year, and it's like that bad blood with Penn State. They beat us last year, and it was a close game as well. I think it's gonna be a really, really close game. Hey, you're right. I don't know if I want to give a definitive yes or no we're gonna win, just because it's only Sunday. But just a quick hit, I think I don't know. It's going to be a good game. That's all I'm going to say. I think it's going to be a good game, for sure.
The goal of this Auburn team, in terms of the crowd, you can't lose the crowd early.
You got to have momentum.
You can't turn the ball over on the first
right.
drive of the game. You have to keep the crowd on your side. Because,
yeah. You got to be focused.
My third year at Auburn, this crowd will turn. It'll turn quick. I'm a New York sports fan, so I guess that city knows it better than anything.
Yeah.
We boo because we expect to win.
Yeah,
we're not booing because we
don't like Auburn, but we want to win.
We expect success, and when
we don't get
the
that,
lack of success is so apparent, and you're not. It feels like there's little effort, lack of preparation, the vanilla play calling, and not playing your best players. It's hard. It's really hard. It is hard,
but just to kind of wrap everything up, I think. Obviously San Jose State, that game was hard to watch. A lot of mental mistakes. Didn't play well, but we just got to lock in this week. Focus. Got big Penn State game this week 3. But that
So just one other thing I wanted to add to this pod. I wanted to start doing this weekly, but kind of forgot about it a little bit ago, so it just kind of hit me. For week 2, Auburn MVP of the game.
MVP of the game? That's a good question. I don't know, man. In a game like this, it's hard to think about.
Does this game have an MVP?
I'm going to have to say... it's going to be somebody on the defense. I'm going to say Derek Hall.
getting his second sack of the year.
Yeah, I think he looked pretty good. I'm gonna have to say Derek Hall. Who's your MVP?
Just because preseason I said he was going to be my sack leader, and he picked up his first sack of the season this year at Guliota.
Okay.
So I guess we're both sticking on the defensive side of the ball.
Right.
Tank Bigsby struggled yesterday. Jarquez, although his numbers didn't stand out, he looked better.
I think the Romanics looked fine.
Good.
The one thing, we didn't take a lot of carries, man.
No,
what was that?
Vanilla play calling. I don't.
You're right.
I can't keep talking about that because I'm gonna go nuts. But
right.
Yeah. Hopefully next week it'll get better. I'm telling myself it'll get better.
That's all you gotta say. That's all you gotta do is just tell yourself it's gonna get better. But yep, this is the Strictly Auburn recap podcast. Hard week to cover, but we'll look forward next Sunday to hopefully talk about a win against Penn State. But that's all I got for me. What are you gonna?
Yeah. So this Strictly Auburn recap pod is gonna be on Laz Sports coming out Sundays after Auburn game days. October 22nd is our bye week. We'll probably still do one that week, just recap.
Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Trying to think of any other Auburn content we can put out.
We talked about
TikTok.
Yeah, Strictly Auburn. That's our TikTok. Go check it out. We'll put highlights of the game, just kind of stuff, in the stadium. We'll throw some. I'm gonna throw some bloopers on there from the show.
Oh boy,
that was pretty funny. We hit a couple of roadblocks, but we got it out. But yeah, I'm gonna throw some bloopers on the TikTok. Y'all go check it out. Give you some laughs. But yeah, that's it for Strictly Auburn podcast. Thank y'all for joining. Y'all have a good day. War Eagle.
War Eagle.